New York City police have charged 26-year-old Luigi Mangione in the brazen murder of UnitedHealthcare's CEO. The 26-year-old is an Ivy League graduate from a prominent real estate family, and police are still looking into the exact motive for the fatal shooting. Mangione was arrested in Pennsylvania after a customer at McDonald's thought he resembled the suspect photos. He is expected to be extradited to New York eventually. It's unclear if he has a lawyer yet.
The police commissioner made the decision to release as much of a photo that we had at the time. We sent it across the country, and someone, a McDonald's employee, did something we ask every American to do. If you see something, say something, but most importantly, do something. And they did. And because of that, we believe we have a strong person of interest to deal with this case.
For just over 5 days, our NYPD investigators combed through thousands of hours of video, followed up on hundreds of tips, and processed every bit of forensic evidence. Officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset. NYPD detectives are en route to Pennsylvania as we seek to interview the subject further.
They say they also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with the one worn by the shooter and a fake ID that matches the one used by the suspect to check into a Manhattan hostel before the murder. Brian Thompson was killed last week just outside his hotel in what police said was a targeted attack. CTV public safety analyst Chris Lewis is the former OPP commissioner, and he joins us live with more on how this investigation would have played out. Clearly, some good police work, and from what we appear, that they have caught the alleged killer. But I'm curious, Chris, when it comes to motive, how important are these documents or this manifesto that this individual allegedly left behind?
Hi, Jamie. Good afternoon. Certainly, motive is huge in any such case. In this case, we're assuming the motive, of course, is linked to the manifesto, linking somehow to the fact that this guy had sought or had whatever had occurred between him and the insurance company or insurance providers was motive for that, which is really weird because he certainly came from a lot of money. So I don't imagine he was relying so much on insurance, but nonetheless, that's huge. And of course, what did he say at the time? What did he say to others? The entire investigation leading up to his actual shooting, the online comments, the manifesto, different groups he was involved in, and on and on. It's a huge puzzle piece, a puzzle of pieces to put together for them. But so far, man, they've done an incredible job.
Just on the surface of what you know so far, what kind of charges could this individual be looking at? Do you think this is going to fall under first-degree murder?
Absolutely. There's no doubt this was planned. It wasn't a case where he just snapped all of a sudden and, in a millisecond and took a life. He traveled there. He planned it out. He was there ahead of time. Somehow knew the schedule of the individual, which is really concerning too. How did that come to be? But all that being said, the case, as they put it together and followed him on video and released the snapshots of his face when he uncovered a bit, somehow tracked him right across the city and out of state to Pennsylvania, and then how this young officer really approached him, asked him for ID, and then ultimately saw things like fake ID leading to certain charges, the possession of the gun leading to certain charges, and then, of course, ultimately murder in the first degree.
I've been looking at a lot of the posts on social media, and I can't help but notice you have even some people who are going on the media and some other channels who are essentially almost in a way praising the acts of this individual. And I'm wondering, when you hear and see those kind of things, does that, as a former OPP commissioner, do you worry about copycat situations when something like this happens, when a high-profile CEO of the largest health insurance company in the United States gets shot and killed?
Absolutely, Jamie. When you think about it, to get public praise for a hit where a guy walked up and shot somebody in the back on the street, and actually to get applauded for that by some, certainly that's going to draw attention to those out there who are maybe looking to be in the spotlight like this guy is and have his face all over the country, and on and on. And if you're so inclined, and obviously you have to be suffering from some mental health issues, the potential for a copycat is out there. Someone's seeking that similar praise and adoration from some. Scary stuff.
And lastly, I would imagine or assume that police would also possibly be looking into whether or not somebody helped this individual, whether they helped him get a gun, helped him, in any kind of capacity. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's obviously always an issue, Jamie. Who knew what and when? Who did what and when? Where did that gun come from? Where did he get fake ID? Who did he tell he was going there? Did anybody facilitate that or help facilitate his movement out of New York City to Pennsylvania? And on and on. So, I mean, sometimes these things happen in total isolation, but seldom. I mean, somewhere along the line, he got a gun. Whether it's the same gun he used in the killing, but where did that come from? And all the pieces along that route in the puzzle that someone may have been involved in some way.
CTV Public Safety Analyst Chris Lewis, always great to chat, my friend. Thanks for joining us.